It's 4 o'clock in the evening. I haven't left my room, but the truth is, if I'm honest, I feel stuck here in the middle. Am I one of those crazy people? Should I stay here or should I let go? Pull the sheets over my head, hoping change is gonna find me. You don't have to remind me I'm doing nothing at all. I'm ruminating on a blank wall, but I feel stuck here in the middle. Am I one of those crazy people? Should I stay here or should I let go? Can you tell me what I need? Can you tell me what you see in me? Can you tell me what I need? Can you tell me what you see in me? I just feel stuck here in the middle. Am I one of those crazy people? Should I stay here or should I let go?
Okay, hello. I believe it's PCT day 64. Things have gone a little haywire. I think we left this morning mile 722.2 maybe, something like that. Check the end of the video for the exact mile marker and all that and what day. But I think it was like 9 point something miles for the day, so not too bad. Here's what went down though. So I think I filmed. Our plan was to try to do 10 miles by 10 or 10 miles by noon yesterday. And I filmed up till we got till 10 o'clock and I took that break and was waiting for Dad to come up the hill. We were going to decide if we wanted to push on because we'd only done 8 miles at that point. So 2 more miles by noon to get to our 10 goal. So it was 10 o'clock and I'm sitting there. I filmed that little thing, took my shoes off, relaxed. 10:15 comes, Dad's still not there. 10:30 comes, Dad's still not there. 10:45, tons of other hikers pass by. 10:45, Dad comes up the hill, which it was a decent climb, so that's not too crazy. So I kind of wave him over. I'm over here. So he comes and lays down and says, "Oh, I'm just completely whipped." It's like I don't know if it's elevation or if it's a heavier pack with the bear canister or that climb. I just don't know. So I said, "That's fine. We'll just take a break. We've done 8 by 10 o'clock is plenty good. We'll take our break here." So he lays down for a break and takes his shoes off. We lay down and rest. And usually when we do that, unless we're waiting out the sun of the day, that's 3 hours most. So an hour goes by and he's still asleep. 2 hours go by, 3 hours go by. He kind of gets up and moves around and gets in the shade, as the sun moves, gets back in the shade, kind of adjusts, gets something different for a pillow or whatever, but then falls back asleep. And 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. And usually by then, at some point, he's like, "Okay, you ready to hit it again?" And I usually just kind of wait for his lead. When he says he's ready, then we go. And 6 hours, and he's still not saying anything. I'm still sleeping, still, on and off. And then he gets up and he's like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm just so tired." And he's like, "I woke up and didn't quite know. I thought I slept through the whole night." It felt like, I was just so tired. So like, you feel like going on? He's like, no. I was like, so it's fine, we'll just keep staying here. So we stayed in the spot and had a little bit of crackers and stuff to eat. And I said, you can, make food, make an actual hot meal or something. No, I don't feel like any of that. And he was getting the chills, and used my coat as kind of a blanket, and then slept some more. So we were there for quite a while. So then we were looking at the next water source. We're getting low on water because we're just sitting there all day drinking it. So I'm like, well, can you make it? I think we're about 0.5 or 0.7 away from the next water. So he's like, yeah, I think I can make it up to the water. So we get up to the water, fill up our water bottles because we got to have that. And he's like, I'm just spent, just at 0.7, because it was still some uphill, but just, oh my gosh, it's too much. But the water, of course, was right in direct sunlight. So we filtered our water. The sun's just beating down on us. And we start looking at where we can get service next, and checking the Gut Hook comments on where we can get service. And the next place where people had been getting some AT&T service, which is what Dad has, was just 0.5 more, but uphill. And so we rested, and eventually we're like, okay, we can make it to the last 0.5. So we make it to the top 0.5, don't get AT&T service at all anywhere where it says they had it before. So me and Dad started talking about, he's like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's elevation sickness. I don't know if it's, then he has lost a lot of weight. So we talked about that, the combination of weight loss. Like, he started a lot thinner than I did. Like, I'm getting down to where he was when he started, and he's way below. It's like the lightest he said he's been since like high school. And we eat a ton when we're in town, but I don't know, he's just not keeping it on, or it's just not enough. Or also sometimes when we eat our food on trail, he's always trying to eat when I'm eating. So it's like, do you want half of this, or do you want part of that, or do you want to make something hot? And if I do, then he'll do it too. But if I don't know if that's just to conserve food, or that's because he doesn't want to eat it if it's not something I want later. But he also has been eating a ton. But I got a lot more to burn, and I don't get as hungry on trail, like snacky stuff. I just, not like full meals, I can't even finish them. So I don't want to waste our food if I'm not going to be able to finish it. Wait till night when I'm really hungry. So he hasn't been eating a ton out on trail either. And it's like, he needs it. I don't, to maintain it. So we were talking about it, and it got to the point, it's like, I can't go any further because everything else is more elevation, more uphill. He's like, I can't do that. And he was just dead, like the most tired he's been on this whole trip. So I took his phone, because he's got the AT&T, and climbed to the highest point I could climb to try to get service, and couldn't. So I decided to use my Garmin, and I messaged my mom and my wife, and just kind of let them know the circumstance. Like, everything was fine, but Dad's not doing too good, and he's kind of hitting a wall. And we've started discussing what to do from here. So it's about, from where we were then, it was about 20 miles back into Kennedy Meadows, where we came from, and Grumpy Bear's where he can stay for free, and possibly his brother lives in California, possibly get a ride from his brother, or organize some kind of other ride. And he was insistent. He wanted me to go on. It's like, well, you're in the Sierras. This is your dream. You got this far. Keep going. Go through the Sierras. Go to our 950 Yosemite goal. And I was good with that if I knew he was safe going down, because it would still be another 2 more days, all downhill. He said he would take it really slow, and there'd be a ton of hikers coming up from Kennedy Meadows. There'd be a ton of people to kind of check on him, or if he needed help or whatever. So that was good. But then it's like, I don't want to finish it without him. So I was having a super tough time as I'm messaging my wife and my mom about the whole thing. So it's like, I want to continue on and finish kind of what we did. I've never been this close or in the Sierras. I've never been here. I want to go through it, but at the same time, I want Dad to be safe, and we've done 700 and whatever 20 miles together at that point. It's like, I want to finish wherever we finish with him. So I kept debating, like, do I just go back to Kennedy Meadows and we call it there together, so at least we'd finish together. So anyway, we camped. It was late. We weren't going to make any decisions, and we said we'd see how he felt in the morning. So just prayed about it all night. I was having a really tough time, real emotional about it, because what do I do? I'm stuck in the middle of the situation. I want to finish with Dad. I feel bad that he'd feel disappointed to get this close. I felt like I still wanted to go on to accomplish my thing, but do I want to accomplish without him? And does it put a sour taste at the end of 720 miles for me and him that we didn't finish together? I feel like it kind of does. So I feel like we need to, that's why we adjusted to the 950 goal, so we could finish together. So I wouldn't, and he stayed on trail. So it's like, I want to stay true to that and continue on to that. So that's how the video ended so cryptic last night, because I forgot to even film an end, and I'm laying in bed like I gotta film something, but I have no idea where we're at. I have no idea mileage. I have no idea for sure, what's going on or what's the future even of the hike until the morning. So it wasn't a purposeful cliffhanger to this episode, but that was the situation. So anyway, Dad woke up this morning, and first thing he says is he felt 100% better. Like, he was a little congested. My throat hurts this morning. I think some of that has to do with elevation. We went up in a lot of elevation really quick. Just different atmosphere up here, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe some kind of bug we both caught. I don't know. He didn't say anything about his throat yesterday. He said he's real stuffy and congested today, but he feels energy-wise back to 100%. And so I said, well, we're going to take things insanely slow, and we're just going to check in every little bit, because we're only climbing more. And the further we go, the further we get away from Kennedy Meadows, and closer we get to a different point of exit. So we hadn't decided where our next point of exit for resupply. We talked about there's 3 towns kind of off the east side, and Lone Pine comes first, then Independence, then Bishop. A lot of people go off trail to resupply. We hadn't really decided. We were just going to let it roll by how many miles we did and how much food we had, which one. But a lot of people suggested Lone Pine, the first one. It's closest. It's only about 20 more miles from where we are now. 40 miles, about 44 or something from Kennedy Meadows. But we didn't initially think we were going to do that one just because it was so close. But everyone says everything is so much more convenient and closer together in town, where Independence only has a couple of gas stations and Bishop's a lot more big and spread out. But we had this guy yesterday suggest to us Lone Pine. So when Dad said he was feeling better, I said, okay, we'll take it slow. We sat down and talked this morning. I said, does it make more sense now to definitely go into Lone Pine, get you some more rest, get you some more food, take another 0, give you some more time to adjust the elevation, and maybe we change our end goal. Instead of 950 at Yosemite, maybe we change our end goal to the first place we can kind of get out after Whitney, because Whitney's coming up. I think we're like 50 miles away, and he was so disappointed yesterday. Like, if I go back to Kennedy Meadows, we're so close to Whitney. I'll never be this close to Whitney. I want to go to the top of Whitney. It's the tallest peak in the United States. It's like, I just want to do that. If I could at all do it. I said, so what if we were already concerned about making the 950 finishing miles because of elevation and his adjustment to elevation and the up and down in the Sierras. So I said, what if we pulled that back and we get through Whitney, and I think Kearsarge Pass, I'm not positive, but there's a pass after it that leads into Bishop, and we kind of figure out possibly a way to get home from Bishop instead, which we have no idea because we have no service. So the plan at this point, so he liked that idea. I think it makes more sense for us. It leaves Yosemite to be explored later, which is kind of cool, because then I get to do it with my wife, which I've always wanted to do anyway, and it's not like secondhand. We're doing it together for the first time, so that's really cool. And I'm trying to convince Dad and hopefully Mom to go as well, and we all kind of do it together, possibly later this year, because we're talking about coming back down this direction, but not in a hiking capacity, more in a traveling, touristy capacity, which is fine. So anyway, the 950 thing, he really thought cutting it back made sense. He really wants to get Whitney done. It feels like an achievement. I think it's kind of cool, because I've always talked about the AT is really cool, because you end on Katahdin, like this big mountain. And not that we would end on Whitney, because we can't go out the east side of Whitney. I think with our PCT permit, we got to go beyond, but we would at least hit Whitney, and then I think get to mile like 840 something, takes us into Bishop. And then we would do our research when we get to Lone Pine, which would be sooner, about how to get a ride out of Bishop, just like get somewhere, some kind of hub to get back home. So as of now, that is the plan. We've already gone, I think, about 7 or 8 miles today. It's been smooth, hasn't been a lot of uphill, but Dad's been fine, been feeling good. So we're just going to take, with that new cut down goal, we can take things even slower if needed. We're definitely going to go into Lone Pine and resupply, and probably take a 0 day and rest up, try to put some more weight on him. Look into anything we can do about elevation. Is there anything he can take, or is there any, I don't know, special thing he can wear that would help with it or whatever. As far as getting up Whitney, we would resupply for the whole rest of the trips. We'd have about 100 miles, I think, from about 7-mile stretch, and there'd be no more stopping. So it'd be like a 10-day deal plus 11 for Whitney or whatever would kind of be the plan. So that's the rough plan. Definitely an improvement over last night. I'm so glad it worked out this way, because I don't know what I would have done going forward. So that was an answer to prayer all the way. So I just hope Dad continues to feel better. We're going to take it super, super slow, and just base it completely on how he feels and weather and elevation. If that means we go a mile and we rest, go a mile and we rest, that's fine, because our timetable to get back by early July still works. Even better now with having less mileage to do. So to me, it's most important that we finish together, even if that means taking another 0 and taking our time through this. And that we plenty of time left in my life and plenty of time left with Dad that we can go and explore other areas with the whole family, and it'll just be more fun. And we'll always have this, and we'll always have this achievement if we can get to Whitney, like the desert. But we got to Whitney, we got through some of the Sierras, and we summited, and kind of a perfect cherry on top if we can do it. So we just have to take it slow to make sure that can happen from here on out. So a lot of great life lessons in there. So the trail just continues to evolve my perspective on it. Just the whole situation, what it means to me, it just changes, and the emotional roller coaster that is. But so glad that we have some kind of path going forward that looks very doable, and I'm so glad we can be very fluid and change and adjust. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening to that long spiel, and let's go. Okay, end of PCT day 64. We made it to mile 77, 33.8, just 11.6 miles for the day. Started off good. I think we got let's see, 8 of them, maybe a little bit, seven of them early, and then found a water source and just hung out there for like 5 or 6 hours. And ate, because Dad thought that was one of his problems, not eating enough, so he ate a ton. Waited for the sun to go down a little bit. There was some cloud cover. We took off and hit the first climb, and we weren't less than a mile into the first climb, and Dad's just done. And so we stopped, and then we stopped and stopped and stopped. We had to. Like, he was just gasping and could barely even make it up. So my throat's hurting worse and worse. So I don't know if it's something similar. He said his throat doesn't hurt, but he's just real congested and nasally and just snotty all day today. So I don't know if we have both caught something in Grumpy Bears or along the trail or who knows what, or if it's just elevation, or if it's a combination of all the things. I feel very achy all over today, but we have spent the last 2 days laying on the ground for 6 hours of the day, so I don't know if that contributes to it, or there's sometimes when I get a sore throat, then everything gets achy, so everything's really achy. We have 13 miles tomorrow to get out to Lone Pine, and I have no idea. I mean, there's a little bit of climb in the morning, and then mostly flat, and then some downhill at the very end once we get off the PCT for like 2 miles. But I have no idea how far we're going to make it, or if we're going to make it tomorrow. That was the plan, is to get into town tomorrow, be cheaper rates at the hotel on Sunday, but it'll be cheap on Monday too. So we'll just see if we have to split it. We have to split it. We'll see how he feels in the morning. Dad seems to feel better in the mornings, but I haven't suggested it to him yet. But I think we talked about it today. I don't know what I said in the earlier video, but we re-talked about it today, and now we're thinking not going all the way to go out at Bishop, Summit Whitney, go to Lone Pine, come back on Summit Whitney, and then get out at Independence at mile, I think it's like 766 or 88 or something like that. I think it's 788. When our initial plan was 950, then we switched it to mile 840, I think was Bishop. So now we're talking 788. So we're only 60 miles away from finishing, counting minus one day to Summit Whitney. But I don't know that Dad can Summit Whitney, and I don't know that he can do the rest. But I hope he keeps feeling better. But we can't. We could only do those 7 in the morning because they were downhill, and we're gonna have a ton of uphill up Whitney. It's the tallest mountain, so I don't know what to do going forward. Obviously, getting to Lone Pine, that'll be the priority, and then we'll reassess in Lone Pine. We have service. Hopefully, Dad has service tonight. He's supposed to. That's why we hiked all the way to the spot. It's because it said it had AT&T. I got nothing. So hopefully he can do a little research if he feels up to it, or figure out kind of what the plan is. From there, the other option I thought that I haven't run by him yet is he could stay in Lone Pine. We go into Lone Pine, he stays, gets a hotel for a couple days. I get back on trail and do Whitney and finish that last section in like 5 more days, and then hit Independence and take the bus back to Lone Pine, or he takes a bus from Lone Pine to Independence, and then we head out together. That's 4 more days in the hotel. I don't know if he wants to do that. I don't know what's best. Or I could just get off with him at Lone Pine, which at least Whitney, like I feel like it was the whole thing. And then it was Skip Oregon, and then it was Yosemite, and then it was Bishop, and then it's at least Whitney and Kearsarge Pass, and then now Whitney. So I don't know. I mean, it's not being forced on me. Like, I agree with all those decisions. It's not that. It's just hard to decide the decisions and the right thing to do and going forward, especially because he's not getting any better, and now I'm starting to feel sick, and it just feels like we did 700 miles in the desert, and then we go 3 days in the Sierras, or 4 days, and we're out. It's like, what? Without even summoning Whitney? Like, at least if we summit Whitney, it's like, oh, we did this, or I did this. But maybe it'll just have to be me doing that, and then head back. I hate finishing without him, but it wouldn't be like Kennedy Meadows. If he would have gone back to Kennedy Meadows, he would have got a ride home. We would have gotten home separate ways. At least if we do it this way, he'd still see me at the end when I got off trail. We go home together, which is kind of a big deal for me. We started together to finish the whole thing together. It would be cool. So I don't know, craziness. It was a good thing this morning. I thought we were good and golden and blessed and whatever, and I guess we were. We still got to do another day, and he doesn't have to go back to Kennedy Meadows, but we'll have to take it easy the next couple days, or the next day, or whatever it takes to get into Lone Pine, and then totally reassess in Lone Pine and decide from there. So thanks for watching. Sorry, this is probably a ton of video. I don't know how much filming I did. Just an emotional day, and feeling bad for Dad, struggling. I know he wants to go further, and I know he wants to finish at all these different points, but at some point, like the elevation, the sickness, the weight, the age, the combination of all that thing just catches up. That's just what it is. So we're doing what we can do, and I'm not pushing in any way. Just let him dictate what he can do and go from there. So that's it for tonight. It's beautiful here. It's the Sierras. Let's take a look. Be a little bright. Yeah, like that. So no matter what happens, we got to see a ton of beautiful views. It's not anyone's ideal situation, but so much of the trail hasn't been, and we just roll with it. So we're going to continue to do that. And I totally believe that God will just direct footsteps in the way they're supposed to go and outcomes in the way they're supposed to go. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. You gotta see this. Looks like Dad got some rest. Out on the rock there, I think he's FaceTiming with Mom, so we'll see how that goes.